Hello, everybody. Welcome to another DIY University by Sally Beauty. I will be your host today, Mr. Gregory Patterson, celebrity stylist and styling ambassador with Sally Beauty. I've been with Sally Beauty for like almost 8 or 9 years or something like that. Now it's been a minute, and I've loved every bit of it. Welcome to today's class. If you're joining in, please let us know where you're joining in from. And if you're a repeat offender of my classes, I would like to extend a warm thank you to all of you coming back for some more education. And if you're new here, I'm going to welcome you in to the Sally Beauty University DIY experience. If you haven't ever been here, you're going to get so much education. I'm going to share some of my favorite tips and tricks with you, and also some of my favorite color products, color, and techniques on how to create the latest and greatest trends that are super doable for you at home. So welcome in. We've got a full class loaded for you. Today is like a 3-in-1. We have 3 different looks that are coming your way, all inspired by our having colored hair doesn't make you unprofessional campaign. The whole month of June, we are just celebrating everything and anything hair color. And we teamed up with Heather B, who created this incredible tune. If you haven't heard it yet, go on our Sally Beauty Instagram and check out some of the coloring videos that are happening right now, because we've all attached a song to it. It is so catchy, and it is the truth, y'all. Having colored hair doesn't make you unprofessional. Yes, get into it. So today I want to just dive right in, grab your pens and your paper, a pencil if you need it. I brought out the whiteboard today because I've got some very specific things that I want to share with you. So in today's class, the 3 looks that we are going for, we're going to start out easy, and then we're going to end up full on head over heels in love with hair color. So maybe you're not that color chameleon that just wants to go all in right now. I totally get it. Hello, look at my hair. Like, I put a few highlights in and I'm like, that's a lot for me. I'm getting there. I'm starting to feel the urge, get the scratch. Fortunately, I get to play with hair color, so I feel like I get it out of my system there. But if you are not ready to go all the way in, my first look might be for you. Inspired by Marquise, one of the incredible dancers, influencers that we had on our color campaign. He has a set of incredible dreadlocks, and they're all vibrant, really cool colors. So I wanted to recreate and represent that here. So if you are wearing dreadlocks, or maybe you are beginning to twist your hair, maybe you're wearing some knotless braids and want to add some color, this is going to be a great way for you to keep it casual. The second look that we're going to talk about is inspired by the girl herself, Miss Heather, who wrote the song, sang the song, performed the song, and she's starting to get serious with her hair color. So maybe this is you. Maybe you've upgraded and elevated and thought, you know what? I actually have a hand on this now, and I've got my routine down. I've got my step-by-step down, and I want to start going for more bold color. This is a one-tone look, and I'm going to share with you some application tips and tricks and techniques, because no matter what your hair length, the application to get this look right is really essential. So I'm going to share with you my best practices on how to completely saturate and make sure no hair has gone uncolored and untouched by that color. And then our third and final look that I'll be sharing with you today is inspired by the American Ninja Warrior herself, Miss Charity Grace. She has gone head over heels in love for hair color. She has been a color mermaid for many years now, and this is just all out color. Now, I'm going to throw a little wrench in the system for you today. I'm not going to exactly duplicate their looks, because I want to show you how taking inspiration from each look and customizing it for the way that you want to create it is possible. So yes, those three fabulous human beings are our inspiration, but I'm going to mix up the color palette because, hello, we have a whole rainbow to choose from. So if you are ready, I am ready. Let's get into look number one, keeping it casual with Marquise. So you can see here, my model is, she's wearing the dreads. She's wearing these. And I'm going to show you, look at, there he is, Marquise. This is so cool. I put a hat on just to like represent as well. But I wanted to share with you some things that I've learned in the editorial world. And also, you know, I was lead hairstylist for Sally Beauty on Project Runway for a couple of years. And I was fortunate enough to be able to touch every hair type and texture. And as a professional stylist, it's real important for me to represent all types of hair and all types of texture and all types of ways that we can wear and celebrate our hair with color. So I wanted to share with you ways that you can incorporate color. Are you ready for it? By clipping it in. This is going to be a permanent, or excuse me, a quick and easy non-committal way to access the world of hair color. I'm also going to share with you how I created these twist and rip dreads. This is a really cool and easy way to start the dread and the locking process if you wanted to get into that world. And coloring extensions, any color that you want, so that you can create your own color melody. You see here, I have two tones of blue. What I did was just added more of the seafoam green. I used the Wella Color Charm collection here. I actually used the Wella Blue and the Blue Lagoon. These two colors I thought really complemented this brown tone really, really well. And I just think it's such a cool look against this brown. So let me show you how I create the twist and rip dreads. And then I'm going to do one on an extension and place it in. So if you're wearing locks or dreads, or maybe want some braided hair, you can create your own color melody. And the beautiful thing, it's casual. You can wear it for 24 hours. You can wear it for 12 hours. You can wear it for a night of fun and then clip them out and they're finished. So let's begin with how to create a twist and rip dread. So yes, this class today is going to be a little styling tip and trick technique for you too. Oh, cool. So let's begin. So what's really cool about these type of dreads is that they're super simple and quick. These dreads here took me about 10 minutes to create. So one thing you're going to do is start with a section of hair. I like to have multiple sizes and sections because I like different sizes of dreads. I just think it adds dimension. It looks really cool and really beautiful. So the twist and rip technique is really, really simple. What you're going to do is take that section of hair, okay? Once you take that section of hair, you're literally going to twist the entire section about halfway through. I want you to leave some of the hair out, and we're just going to take a little bit and rip it, okay? You see that? So then we're going to twist again, and starting from the bottom, we're just going to rip it up. You see that it begins to knot up like that. And one of my favorite things about these type of dreads, the twist and rip dread, is that they're brushable. So once you are finished wearing this dread, you can actually brush through it. If you don't want to brush through it and want to continue the locking phase, then you can continue to palm roll these, where you'll get a more defined dread and you'll be on your way to really cool dreadlocks, okay? So here I am again. I'm twisting and ripping. And what I like to do is take a little bit of the hair from the top there and pull all the way up. So you can see my lock starting to form right there, okay? So here I go again, twist and rip. I twist and I rip. I twist and I rip. So you're taking a little bit of hair from each twist and just ripping up. So once your dread has started to form, now we're going to do a palm roll. So this is where we start to smooth out and lock any of these hairs. If you have a matte pomade or maybe like an edge control gel or even a firm hold hairspray, this might be a great place to put it on and start to palm roll. So I'm placing the dread right between my palms, just like so, and I'm going to roll it, starting at the base, working my way all the way down. So here I am at the base, and I am rolling between my palms and going all the way down. You see how it forms that dread like that. Now let me show you how I incorporate some color into this. So we're going to take the dread, or excuse me, the piece of color that I created. I put these on the Barely extensions. I love the Barely extensions because the invisible wefts are so flat to the head and the quality of hair is just incredible. So what I want to do is just clip it in right like so, boom. If you have a root cover spray, this is a perfect place to put a root cover spray right there to conceal that, okay? So then obviously I need to cut the hair. So I'm going to take a little blade here and just get rid of that hair. Adios. Actually, I'm a hairstylist, so I'm going to save this because I can create another dread out of it and just pin it in if I want to, okay? So once that is finished, yep, you guessed it, we're going to start the method again where we're twisting and ripping, we're twisting and we're ripping, and we're twisting and we're ripping. Keep twisting and ripping. That's the key, all the way up like that. You want to see it start to form, start to lock, and this is what's going to create that super cool vibe that Marquise is showcasing in his style. You know, I think it's really important that we talk about all types of hair texture, all types of wearing our hair, and not limiting it to just platinum blonde hair that can be covered and colored with really fun, vivid hair color. You can create any texture you want. You can find extensions in any texture that there are, and they can become any color that you want and incorporated into your style. So keep in mind that vivid hair color isn't just for super smooth straight hair that has been bleached out platinum blonde. I want you to think outside of the box and ways to feel and be inspired to wear your hair color in new fashionable ways or ways that you've been inspired by other people like Marquise. I have to tell you, it was really fun creating this look. I loved seeing him and meeting him in person at our hair color event. He's such a dope, cool human being. And when I tell you that the vibe of his hair matches the vibe of his soul, it was just like, yeah, you are this human being that wears such cool hair and you have that cool little vibe. So I wanted to honor him and celebrate his hairstyle and also play in the world of hair color there. So you see I have my twist and rip dread there, and now I've got to palm roll. So I'm just going to place it between my hands, just like so, and start to twist the hair. The more you palm roll, the more that the hair is going to lock, and that's what you want. If you need a little more twist and rip at the bottom, feel free to go through and go back again and palm roll. Now, this is a super fun and easy way. Once we get all this incorporated on top, they just hide and they play there, and you are able to rock. Where did I put the hat? You're able to rock, boom. Tell me that's Marquise without telling me that's Marquise's inspired by hairstyles. So I wanted to share with you the way to keep it casual. I also don't want you to be limited to just doing locks. Maybe you do have smooth, straight, silky hair. You can also use the Barely extensions, colored any color you want for a total and complete non-committal option of wearing hair color. So that's look number one. Okay, did you like this? Yay! Super fun, right? Look number two is we're going to, you know, get serious about hair color. Now, this is inspired by Heather's hairstyle. Notice I am not using a short hairstyle like she has. I'm using a longer wig because we have wig wearers in the house. We have human beings that love to wear different hair colors, but we're going to do one hair color, and I want to share some tips and tricks with you that I get asked about in my DMs quite a bit. And one of the biggest questions that I get is, when I finish my hair color, I always see spots, okay? Or I have longer hair. Where do you think I should begin my application? And I want to go over all of that with you today because that's what makes or breaks this one tone look. When you have multi dimensions in the hair, a lot of times you can get away with what we call those holidays in the hair or missed areas because you don't really know if that's been intentional or not, okay? But when it comes to one solid length hair color, you cannot miss a spot. Now, semi and demi permanent hair color can be applied to dry or damp hair. Now, I talk about that for a very specific reason. If you are applying your hair color to dry hair, I want you to know that your hair is going to absorb so much of your hair color. And to recreate or be inspired by Heather's color, I'm actually going to mix it up a little bit. I'm using the Eero Seafoam Pastel, and I'm going to place a few drops of green just to give it a little bit of a punch. I still want that seafoam color, but I want to kick up the green just a little bit. So I'll use about maybe 3 or 4 drops of this, okay? But I want to talk while I'm pouring this out about the importance of understanding how opaque or translucent you want your hair color. So let's say we're getting serious. You might want to completely commit to this hair color because, you know, you're getting serious now. So you might want to apply it to dry hair. If you are applying it to dry hair, I really encourage you, if you think you need 2, buy 4, okay? I made this mistake. I was just in California with my sister and my niece. And of course, hey, Uncle Greg, I just landed. We literally ran into a Sally Beauty store in Santa Rosa, California. I got to meet the incredible team there. The girls there were so cool and so fun to hang out and play with. But I made my own mistake of not buying enough hair color. I thought, you know what? That's probably enough, right? So you see there, I'm adding just a drop of green into the mix of this Eero into the Seafoam Pastel. Now I'm going to mix it. But I made my own mistake of not getting enough hair color. And when I got to the back of my niece's hair, who has no hair at all, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm running out of color. So total rookie mistake, even pro of almost 20 years in the hair business. Trust me when I tell you, if you think you need 2, just go ahead and buy 4. It's great for color refresh. I always talk about that. It's great for color refreshing. And you're just absolutely going to need it. And you don't want to run to Sally Beauty with half a head of hair color, okay? So I'm going to drop her just a little bit so that I can see what I'm doing here. And I, of course, will drop, how do I do this? Of course, I'll drop my, what do you call this thing? My iPad Pro. I will drop that in just a moment. So here we go. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to show you up here. So if you are to apply it to dry hair, keep in mind it is going to absorb all that color and it's going to be most opaque. So what I mean by that is the color is going to be strongest, okay? So it's really going to take. So you have to consider, is your hair porous? Is it properly hydrated? If it is porous and uneven along the hair strand, let's say you've been bleaching your hair for a long time right through here, maybe just doing highlights or balayage or ombre, and now you want to add a vivid hair color. If this is new hair growth or hair that hasn't been color treated for as long as this mid-lengths and ends has, this hair here is going to soak up all of that color. And because the cuticle's been blown out and maybe some of that pigment that lives in there naturally is going to be gone, you might end up with uneven hair color. Because if there's any tone left in here, going back to our color wheel, if there is any, let's say, red or yellow at the zone 1 of your hair, this seafoam green color is going to absorb into that tone and take that new tone on, which if we go to our color wheel, here I go again, we have red and we have green. That's going to neutralize and it's going to be kind of a muddy color. It won't be bright and true. So I really want you to be mindful of that, okay? Now, properly getting the ends of the hair back to its best version of porosity while it's lifted is going to be using your moisturizing treatments while you are, shampooing and cleansing and conditioning, and also before you do the hair color. Hair masks are an essential part of hair color, and you might just need to do a treatment about twice a week, maybe 2 weeks before you do the major color, and go for it. So speaking of go for it, let's go here. When you are working with longer lengths of hair, what I recommend is always starting at the bottom. So many times I see videos of people starting here at the top. And if you are using if you're doing gray touch-up or hitting your roots, that's a great place to start, especially on top and the hairline. But if you're doing hair color that needs to move around and live all over the place, I want you to drop down to starting at the bottom. The reason for that is when you apply your color, you're just going to let it live at the natural fall and you're going to work your way up to the top. I see so many tutorials of people doing vivid hair color starting at the top and laying it over nomam.com. You're going to have hair color all over the place. And I want this experience to be as professional as you can as a DIYer at home. So here I go with my application. Now, section size is going to be essential. It may seem like you are taking super, super fine sections. Good. I want you to, because I don't want you to have any of those holidays. So taking my Eero and that seafoam color, placing it on my brush, I am going to hit the roots, okay? Hit the roots right through here. Let me get this cleaned up. And boom, okay? Hit the roots just like so. And then I want you to lift it up and make sure that you hit the underside of that as well, okay? Next, I want you to start to work down this section. I'm going to turn her this way, okay? I'm going to tap that. There we go. So I'm going to start to now work down this section using your hand as a backing so that you can really saturate the hair color, okay? Once I go down, and I've talked about this in other videos, I want you to also take it and go sideways. By going sideways, let me see if I can get that. There you go. By going sideways, it's going to open up that hair and allow you to expose any parts of that color that have been missed. So you see here, back and back and back, okay? Once you have completed that, then I want you to go through, I need another glove. I want you to go through and massage your color all the way through. So yes, we're going to hit the root first. Then we're going to apply north and south, east and west. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to massage it through. Massaging it through is your third and final way of making sure that every single piece of hair has been saturated with that seafoam Eero color, okay? See a chat coming through. Let me see. The mannequin hair is super bright, okay? Let's see. How about that? Does that help just for this? Okay, so you see here that after you massage, you're able to completely saturate that hair, and from root to tip, you are completely covered and you'll never miss a holiday. Now, I want to go back to my conversation about dry hair versus damp hair. If you were to have damp hair, this will be a more translucent hair color. Okay, let me turn her back on. How you doing? It will be more translucent. So what that means is it's going to be easier for you to work the hair color through, okay, all the way from roots to ends. But you've got to keep in mind too that if you do it on damp hair, it's going to be more translucent, so a little more see-through, and it won't last as long. So when we're talking about vivid hair color, we already know that that dye molecule is so large that the fade out is kind of quick. So if you do it on damp hair, just know that it might fade out a little bit quicker. So you might want to incorporate your dry shampoos a lot more, washing less often, and most definitely rinsing your hair in really cold water. Ugh, I know. Fortunately, it's the summertime, but cold water is going to be your vivid hair color's best friend. Okay? So that is how we are doing that all over, keeping it casual, one tone from root to tip, but the application is going to be important. I want you to take 1/4 inch sections, really, really fine, starting from the bottom and working your way to the top, allowing your hair to lay on top of itself from root to tip. And I will finish her. She will be on my Instagram. Excuse me, she'll be on my Instagram a little bit later. But for class time, we are going to move on to our third and final look. I'm going to set her over here. Okay, girl. Okay. Finally, I don't know if you all saw Miss Charity Grace, our mermaid ninja, the other night. She killed it. She slayed it. She is a boss. She's not only a boss, she is also an incredible human being. And she is all about hair color. Now, you might be thinking like, okay, yeah, but Greg, like, this kind of looks like natural with just some color highlights in there or some like technique. And you're right about that. So I wanted to intentionally, let me see how I can do this here. I wanted to intentionally show you that not every 100% commitment hair color experience has to be bright, bold, and megawatt blue, okay? I want you to see that your all over commitment to hair color, where's she at? Hold on. And there, and there, that your all over commitment to hair color can have pops of fun color existing and living through, but also be a little more, let's say, day to day if you wanted to. So I took her and used our Ion Color Collection. Now, I wanted to put this beautiful, I can't get her head right. Hold on. You guys, this is backwards in my monitor, so bear with me. I wanted to have a little fun again with using some technique of different color placement, which I want to share with you today. But I used the Ion Salmon all over. So I used the Ion Salmon semi-permanent because I wanted almost a rosy, coppery gold, more on the pink side, because I also knew that I wanted my highlight colors to be pops of pink. So to the salmon, I also added hottie pink. So you can see the tones that are running through here are hottie pink with drops of salmon. I find that if I ever do anything all over and I'm using something in a warm tonal family like I did here, I want to incorporate a little bit of that color into the color that I'm using that is a pop or bright color. And the reason I do that is from my years on set with makeup artists, okay? One thing I've learned about the laws and the art of color, so sorry here, there we go, is I saw so many makeup artists taking, let's say, a lip color and adding it to the cheek, or taking a blush or a bronzer powder and adding it into the eyes, or even up here on the forehead or right through here. And I was always curious as to why they were doing that. And they said it just brings the harmony of color together. So when I am using any type of hair color in a tonal family, I am going to take my overall color and incorporate it in my pops of color. So you can see here that it adds that hot pink flash, but it keeps it in the same family as my all over color, okay? So let's talk placement for a minute, because placement is really, really, really important. So when I was using my ion to create this medley and this soft blending of color you see here, I also have some lemon yellow. I also added some shamrock to this. I also added some shamrock to my lemon yellow, and I also used a drop of the hottie pink to the yellow to get more of a punchy orangey color, okay? So let me show you what I did in terms of placement. So let's say this is the hair strand, okay? I used my salmon at the root, okay? Because I wanted to create almost like a root smudge shadow. This is also great when doing an all over total commitment like that, because it creates more harmony at the base. So I painted this down about, let's say, the first quarter of the hair strand, okay? Then what's really, really important to make this pop and make it blend seamlessly is to leave gaps in the hair. So what I did here was I made this my mid-tone, okay? So this was going to be a tone that was in the middle of this and in the middle of my hot pink. So almost like a vacancy. I wanted to leave a vacancy so that my hot pink will pop much brighter. Now, what I did when I moved through each hair strand was I mixed up this ratio. So let's say I went through, I feel like a real teacher right now. Hold on. Please hold while I erase my board. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Okay. So let's say I did my salmon at the base there. I left this vacant. So what I mean by vacant is my softest, lightest tone I put in the center, so that as the hair pops and flies, the darkest color will sometimes sit on top of this lighter color, and that's where you get that major pop. So the second strand that I created, I did the salmon here, okay? Because I wanted that base tone, almost like a smudge root. And then I did my hottie pink next to that. And then I left the ends vacant so that this hot pink, as it flies on top, can pop here. And you can see that represented right here. Do you see how you see that pink? Because there's a whisper of color underneath it. This is really important to get those pops and that dimension when you're doing a look that has multiple hair color tones in it, okay? So I want to bring that out again right here. You can see the vacancy right through here, that as the hot pink sits next to it, pops off. And then you get the deeper tones on the inside that allows the softer tone to pop off of that. So you see how it's mixed up and placed in different tones. This is what gives you that really punchy version of that all over hair color and tone. And it's really what separates you as a DIYer with your hair color from others, because you're getting this pro access and result. And you can really see it here, you know, as I talk about it. You have that lemon yellow as my vacant spot, right? It's not as punchy as the pink. And that's what allows these pinks that are closest to it really pop off. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. So yes, this is your head over heels hair color, but I don't want you to be just limited to what you see with Charity. She went all over blue and aqua and teal. I see pops of violet. I see pops of pink. And the reason why that pops so well and so magically is because she has the peaks and the valleys, the vacancies and the punches in each strand. So have fun, customize it, and definitely know that you can achieve this. So those are our 3 looks. We have our all over color. Let's start from the scratch. We have Marquise's what Keep It Casual, where we did the twist and rip dreads. You can absolutely color your own barely extensions if you want. You can also color your own dreads and locks if you want. Pre-lighten them with a little bit of lightener first, and use your favorite semi or permanent hair color to recreate or create your own beautiful color palette. Look number 2, we were getting serious. This was inspired by Heather's incredible one all over tone hair color. There's nothing basic about this hair color look. It's a beautiful, rich, and vibrant tone. The key here again is going to be your application. So whether you have short hair like Heather, or you're wearing a mid-length or long length, take those 1/4 inch sections, super saturate and massage and roll the color all the way through root to ends. And also make sure you have enough hair color and decide whether you want a dry application or a damp application, opaque versus translucent. Okay. And finally, the 3rd look, head over heels with Charity Grace. This is your, I am so in love with all things hair color and I want to be a color chameleon. This is a great way to create that on your own. Keep in mind too, you can use your barely extensions for this moment if you don't want it full on commit and you just want to have some fun or change up the tones. So with that, I hope you learned a little something. We have the final 10 minutes for a little bit of Q&A. We're going to open the questions up now. I'm going to get her in the shot, and please ask your questions. Know that I love you all. Okay. I have a question coming in from Victoria. Victoria, welcome to DIY University by Sally Beauty. Thank you for your question. Victoria asks, what's the best technique to DIY an all-over color without anyone's help? The best technique to DIY all-over color without anybody's help is get all your product in place. Set up your bowls, set up your sectioning, pre-section the hair, get all your tools there ready to go. Also, one of my favorite tips and tricks when doing anything at home, having a mirror. When I highlight my own hair, I am constantly doing this. That way I can see where I'm painting and what I want to do. And it really helps you work through to see if, in fact, you missed any spots and if you got all zones of your head saturated. If you're at home working with longer hair, I would encourage you to start in the back first. I feel like that's the most challenging zone, and get it over with. Get it out the way. And you're just going to paint bottom, middle to top. I like to think of coloring a house similarly to building a house, or coloring your hair similarly to building a house. We got to do the floor and then the walls and then the roof. Okay, great question, Victoria. Thank you. Any other questions we have? Sydney Piper. First of all, Sydney, welcome to DIY University. Thank you for joining us. It makes my heart so full and happy. What color do you suggest for someone who is hesitant on doing vivid hair colors? If you're hesitant on doing vivid hair color, I highly recommend a demi-permanent or semi-permanent hair color. There's even some incredible new color technology that just hit the shelves of Sally Beauty, like from Color Lux. So they are cleansing, color depositing conditioners, and they come in a range of shades. What I love about these tones is that they literally last maybe like 4 to 5 shampoos maximum, and they lightly fade out. So I want you to think of them as a color pigment depositing conditioner. So they barely stain the hair. But if you have existing highlights, let's say, and maybe you want to do a lavender tone or a really cool rose gold tone, it's a beautiful way to incorporate and dip into the hair color world without fully committing. There's another brand called Shine and Good Dye Young. Good Dye Young has a really cool, they're paints that you put into wet hair and blow dry. They are magically temporary and they shampoo out with your next wash. But they're not chalky, they're not flaky, they look real and legit. The pigments, you get a lot of punch for the pigment power, and it's a great way to try if you're hesitant on doing vivid hair color. Great question. Maribel Roman Mendez, hello and welcome to DIY University. Thank you for your question. Is there a chart on what fun colors will cover each other well? So I'm so happy you asked. There's a chart coming soon. I am working with the Sally Creative team to give you all some really, really good color wheel education, because I know that's one of the hardest things to consider when doing vivid hair colors and retouching your vivid hair colors. There's one thing that if you're doing vivid hair color, you have to embrace right now. If you did your hair color this color today, the next time you go to retouch it, you have to understand it's not going to be exactly like this. Vivid hair color chameleons know that every touch up, every new experience with their color is going to be different. Follow Charity Grace's story. Her hair color is an always evolving hair color experience, because sometimes you have to place blue on top of yellow and get a cool green. That's just the way vivid hair color works. Unless you bleach your hair out every single time, and as a professional and mama hair color, I'm going to tell you I do not recommend bleaching your hair every single time. In fact, I don't want you to, okay? It's just going to compromise the integrity of your hair. So the beautiful thing about becoming a vivid hair color chameleon is embracing that your hair is always going to be different. I will encourage you though, Maribel, to maybe pick up a color wheel, get familiar with the color wheel, even make one of your own using some watercolors, starting with the primaries, you know, and learn how to use the color wheel, because you'll quickly learn that if you put, you know, yellow on top of violet, it's just going to neutralize and cancel. So, you know, you'll have a better understanding of what you can and cannot layer on top when doing a retouch or refresh. Beautiful question, though. I love that you asked that, and thank you. Any other questions that we have for today? Oh, I think we're finished. Okay, so you all, thank you so much for attending. I have to say that I had so much fun building this class for you all, because it incorporated a lot of my favorite things: styling different hair types and textures, and bringing to light vision inspired by something but not directly replicated. I love to be inspired by a human being and their art and their way that they do things, and make it my way. And I want to encourage you to do the same. Be inspired by the 3 looks that we created for you today and try them out. If you try them out, I would love for you to tag at Sally Beauty, and also tag me at Gregory Patterson Hair. You can follow me on Instagram as well. And as always, you can find us here at DIY University by Sally Beauty. Go like our Facebook and also our YouTube channel, because we have tons and tons of playlists where you get so much more hair color education from not only me, but other members of the Sally crew and our incredible Sally Beauty community where you all come in. Also, before I go, I want to share with you, tomorrow, kicking off on TikTok, we're starting a new hair color challenge. So make sure you follow Sally Beauty's TikTok. The challenge is My Colored Hair. We are going to have so much fun. I want you to use the hashtag, join in on the challenge. I think there's a little something in there for you. And have fun with hair color. Again, have fun, play, and know that vivid hair color is for all of us, okay? Until next time, you all, thank you for joining DIY University by Sally Beauty. I am Gregory Patterson. We will see you at the next class. Oh, cool! Happy Gay Pride, y'all! Bye, love you!